Say feel that bass.
We are back for another episode of the Spartan Boxing Radio Show. This time it's a recap about the fight that just happened with Tank Davis and Ryan Garcia. It was an interesting fight. It was a good fight to a certain degree. At least for Tank, it was a good fight. And he really showed his talent. He did everything he wanted to do in there. And he really showed some ring generalship in that fight. So tell me, what did you guys think about it?
Guy Corling.
Masterful performance from Tank. I think we said this a little bit before, that every single flaw that Ryan Garcia has, Tank exploited it. And really, he made the fight to look easy. It was an easy win for him, easy victory. The power was on full display, lots of speed. And Tank was noticeably faster than Ryan Garcia. He thinks faster. He's physically faster. He's stronger. He's more explosive. So this was a mismatch from the get-go. High boxing IQ displayed by Tank. Low boxing IQ displayed by Ryan. And that's what you get, a 7th round knockout.
It was definitely a combination of those things. I think that Tank was able to dictate how the fight was going to go. He was able to move Ryan towards his strong side, towards his left, and was able to get under Ryan's jabs and punches to counter him with the left hand. On both occasions, he did it to the face. But everything had to do with the movement and drawing Ryan in. Ryan, instead of staying outside and jabbing and using his height and using his reach, he started being the aggressor and got overconfident and got tagged, but then continued to follow Tank around. I mean, he wasn't even cutting the ring. He was following Tank around aimlessly, trying to catch up with him with speed and just speed. And that made it easy for Tank to set traps and draw him in and tag him. And he tagged them pretty hard, to the point where I thought that, Ryan, maybe it seems like he didn't give up, but to me it seems like he did give up. He was down there thinking to himself, man, I can just stay here for another 2 seconds till they count me out, and then I'll go back to the drawing board and look to fight YouTubers for about the same money, if not more. So
Probably more.
He has mentioned in interviews that he's ready to move up to 140 and make bigger fights up there. I don't see him surviving 140 with guys like Taylor and Teofimo and even Rougarou up there. If he's still at 140, I don't think he survives any of those guys at this point. So it's a tough proposition with somebody who has that many flaws, and he has some attributes: his speed, he has power, he has youth, but he is mentally and physically frail, in my view. And that showed Saturday night.
We're gonna see really how mentally frail he is, because he's had his mental health issues in the past, and he came back from it. I'll give him that. And it was after adversity. And this is his first loss now is even more adversity than he had against Luke Campbell, because even though he went down that fight, he came back and he won, and he actually impressed a little bit later in that fight. Mm-hmm. What we saw on Saturday was a guy make all the same mistakes that I thought he made in all his other fights, except the competition was lesser. And I didn't know what to think of Tank, because Tank really hasn't fought anybody spectacular. We talked about the paper-thin resumes. So, but Tank looked leagues ahead of him in that fight, way ahead of him. And he used his quick, nimble feet, which I pointed out. He used ring IQ. He was able to get in and out, get under punches, and that's how he got both knockdowns, was getting under Ryan's, overly aggressive style and squaring himself up when he thought he had Tank hurt in the second and in the seventh. And in the seventh, it wasn't even that. Somebody must have said something to him between rounds. I couldn't hear. The bar I was in was crowded. It was a good atmosphere. But he came out swinging in the seventh, and I knew he's going to just make the same mistake, square himself up again, and get caught. And David, you called body shot. Me and Corlin called about seventh, eighth round. We were all pretty much spot on. It was an easy fight to predict, I think. And Ryan actually disappointed me more because I think Corlin pointed out in somebody's Facebook post that Rolly gave Tank a harder time than Ryan, which is crazy. Because Rolly looked awful, and he still gave him a harder fight than Ryan. So I'm actually a little disappointed in Ryan. Maybe I just expected a little more. Maybe I bought into some of the all-access hype and all of that. But I think it lived up to the hype, though. I think it was good. It was good for the sport. I hope.
What do you see? Tank going forward now, Corlin? Where does he go from here?
Well,
does he go to cab drivers and tomato cans, or does he go absolutely. And try to make fights?
Well, here's the deal with Tank, and this is going to be the issue. The issue number one is going to be weight, right? Because he's going to start playing around with the weight. Some guys at 135 and some guys at 136 and some at 140. He's already kind of doing a little bit of these things. And then the
Canelo treatment.
Yeah, it's gonna be Canelo treatment. And then number two, you had Leonard Ellerbe consistently throughout the promotion. What he keeps saying, this is what the A side does. This is how the A side is carrying itself. Blah blah blah. A side this, A side that, A side this. So if Devin Haney wants a fight, if Shakur wants a fight, if anybody viable wants a fight, they are gonna have to bend over backwards in order to make that nightmare. Oh, it's gonna be horrible.
So we're not gonna see these fights anytime soon.
No time soon whatsoever. Especially we have network disputes.
So who is he gonna fight?
Pitbull 2, Rolly 2, maybe some fringe guy coming over. But it's not going to be anybody serious. It's not going to be anybody that we want. And that's a shame because the fans are speaking. Like me, I want that Devin Haney fight. I want to see it real bad. The fans are speaking, and I don't think they're going to give us what we want.
I think what really is going to be a telltale sign whether they really think he's a star now or not is where his next fight is going to be. If it's in Vegas, then his team is sold that he is the A side and he is the star. If it's in Baltimore, then they know that he can't sell tickets if he's doing a showcase fight. That there has to be a good fight in play for people to show up.
So he usually never has a problem selling tickets
at all.
Well, I mean,
and he's from coast to coast with it also. L.A., New York, Brooklyn, Atlanta, Baltimore, here in Texas. He's been everywhere.
You said Brooklyn like it wasn't part of New York.
Hey, no, but he's definitely done well everywhere though, with selling tickets, most definitely.
So Ryan, where does Ryan go? Does he go up to 140? Does he go to try to make some other fights and try to cash out? Does he go back to the drawing board and get himself a trainer that can teach him how to do certain other things and use his attributes better? Or does he look to fight YouTubers and social media stars?
I think he can go to 140 and fight the fringe guys that Corling's talking about. I think he needs to. I don't know if he needs a new trainer, but he kind of needs to reinvent himself because his flaws are glaring, and they have to be fixed. And he's got to change like everything now. It's like he needs the whole, throw the whole game plan out the window and start
strip him down.
And you can't do that with anybody, legit. He's going to have to fight some lower tiered guys. A bunch of showcase fights, not a bunch, but, he's going to need a few, 2 or 3. And then maybe if he's put that new game together, then maybe he could start making challenges to like guys like Tiafimo or guys like Rougarou or, those guys. I don't think, he should go anywhere near a rematch with Tank. I don't think he should go anywhere near Haney or Shakur. But the other three guys that you mentioned, that I mentioned, yeah, why not? But he's going to need to build up to get to that.
Do you think Ryan can stand up to a Jose Cepeda, for example, or an Arnold Barboza, who's undefeated right now, who just beat Pedraza in February, or a Sander Martin, who last fought Teofimo Lopez? I mean, maybe that kind of a fight.
Interesting. That's interesting. That's an interesting fight. And I think that's a fight that Ryan can lose right now unless he starts to rebuild.
Even Jermaine Ortiz, the dude who fought Lomachenko last.
Yep. That's another one.
That dude, I think he boxed his socks off also. Like, you want to talk about really reinventing himself. Like, they have to strip this dude down to the nubs and build him up more, technically, and mentally also. They got to build that confidence back up.
Who's up to that task? Obviously, Joe Goosen has had him for a couple of fights, and there hasn't been any improvement.
Nothing changed.
And think about how he was kind of ran out of Canelo's gym too. That didn't end amicably. So that's another one where Reynoso and all those dudes over there.
I don't think that was the right place for him anyway, because Canelo's game is getting a little stale.
Yeah. But it has to be a disciplinarian. Somebody on the page actually said Nacho Vera's name, and that would be actually really good for him. But there would be a language disparity, right? Because Ryan doesn't speak Spanish.
Not only that, but there's going to be a discipline issue, and that's what happened in the Canelo camp. And I think that's what's been happening with him. He's a social media star, and that comes with certain caveats. And I think that he's going to have to pick which one he wants to be. If he wants to be a real boxing, elite, then he's going to have to get serious with it. Or if he just wants to be a star in social media, that's fine.
Yep.
I mean, we have people doing that now, making tons of money.
Right.
The Pauls are doing it.
I don't have much time left. I wanted to just touch on two things. Number one, they had two platforms to order pay-per-views from. I'm thinking it went over 600.
Well, according to Quarling, if it's not U.S. numbers, they don't exist. So let's not count the U.K. numbers because they don't exist.
Okay. But, all right, so I'll say 600 U.S.
And
then
actually, hold on.
7,333,437,000.
UK numbers don't count because it was free with the DAZN subscription in the UK.
Oh, was it? Man.
Yes.
Those are just views, not buys.
Those are views, not buys.
Well, think about this also, and there was also a problem with a lot of people getting double and triple and quadruple charged buying the pay-per-view on DAZN.
Oh yeah,
it's gonna be real interesting seeing how those numbers play out, and if these numbers are going to be conflated, and are they going to be inaccurate?
We might actually get a figure because Golden Boy is involved in this, and it's not just solely PBC. PBC doesn't show numbers at all.
They're gonna put out numbers this time because Oscar's gonna make sure to put out numbers and say, look, even though Ryan lost, he's a star. Look what we did. And the PBC is gonna be forced to finally put out numbers.
Good or bad?
I gotta pick up my mother-in-law, so she's right here.
That's fine. I'll edit that out. So let's go ahead and close it out. Like I said, it was a good fight for what it was. I didn't think that it felt as hype as a mega fight of maybe 10 years ago, but it was good for what it was. It drew out a lot of celebrities, and it got some attention. Not as much in mainstream media as I expected, but it got attention. And let's see what the numbers do. So, and let's see what happens with Tank and with Ryan going forward, because, those are, whether we like it or not, whether we agree with who they fight or not, they are currently some of the faces of boxing. So,
yep, at this time, most definitely. But all in all, I think it was a good night. If I'm rating it, probably about a 7 out of 10. Just nothing. It was very solid, and it was good. Shout out to Manny Pacquiao. It was good to see that boy there and to see him get his ovation. Give that man his flowers. Like, I was really happy to see Manny there.
And he went to both locker rooms, and he greeted both Gervonta and Ryan before the fight, and they both seemed very happy to see him.
Yeah,
so
yeah,
it was nice.
Yeah.
It was nice.
Why not? He's the GOAT. Why not?
Yeah.
Yep.
I haven't seen whether Floyd did that or not yet in social media, so I don't know if he did or not, if he went into the locker rooms, but maybe into Tank's, but I doubt he went into Ryan's locker room.
I think he was too busy ragging on Oscar.
But, he was giving it to Oscar.
As far as the cards are concerned, two judges had the second round, which is when Gervonta Davis knocked down Ryan Garcia with was it a left shot to the face?
Yep.
Two judges had this round 10-9 to Gervonta.
And one had a 10-10.
And one had a 10-10.
I honestly think Dave Moretti should be suspended because Tank did nothing in the first round. He was just feeling him out. He gave that round to Tank. Ryan was actually okay in the first. He kept his distance. He snapped his jab. Tank barely threw any punches.
Yeah.
So you gave that round to Tank, who did nothing. But in the second round, you have a 10-10 round after a knockdown. That guy's got to be suspended.
It's pretty strange. It would be interesting to hear an explanation of how they
This is
scored
boxing.
that.
Don't expect an
Is
explanation.
it an issue of it's a 10-point must system in Nevada? We're gonna have to look into that.
Obviously, he thought it was for both fighters.
And he's Dave Moretti. This dude's been at it for a long time too. It's a prominent judge.
So has Cheatham.
Right.
Tim Cheatham is.
Right. They've been there for the better part of like 30-something years.
That's Oscar's boy. He probably said, "Do your job, Tim. Cheatham." Him.
Man.
The judges were Tim Cheatham, Dave Moretti, and Steve Weisfeld. Those are
Big fight judges.
Big fight judges with a lot of experience.
Yep.
How I don't understand these scores unless these scores are not correct.
See, that's what I was thinking. When have you ever seen a 10-10 round? I don't even know what that means.
I mean,
what is 10-10?
Ryan was doing so good in that round, so despite the knockdown, that he won the round two. Terrible. Just terrible.
10-10?
I've never seen scorecards like this, and you always get this from Boxing Scene or one of these websites, where I saw it and I said, "These are wrong. These are not the real." This is the first time people actually this is not real.
I just got what I told you.
Yeah.
Oh, 1 o'clock. So I got 20 minutes.
Okay.
So
this will be quick anyway.
This will be quick. So we're gonna talk about the
upcoming Canelo and Ryder.
Correct. I watched 2 fights today.
Me too.
I watched.
Well,
3. I watched 1 yesterday and I watched 2 today. Yesterday I watched John Ryder and Danny Jacobs.
Mm-hmm.
Today I watched both Canelo Alvarez, Gennady Golovkin 3, and Canelo versus Bivol. I think this fight's going to end either with a left hook to the head or a left or an uppercut. Because John Ryder likes to keep his front hand down.
Mm-hmm.
And he also likes to lean forward and charge in with face first. So I don't see Canelo having any trouble whatsoever. This guy just falls forward onto himself. He's going to get knocked out. He's doing this as a thank you to his fans in Mexico. It's a gimme fight.
It's a showcase fight.
It's a showcase fight, and that's okay. I think he's earned that. He's had some tough fights lately.
I like it. I like it.
And as far as
I don't care either way. I wrote down some stats, some notable things.
The thing that I saw different between the Golovkin fight and the Bivol fight, I don't know if it was the weight or I don't know what it was, but there was barely any head movement from Canelo. The intensity was very low from round one. And he just sat there catching punches. If you look at the Golovkin fight, which I don't remember at what weight that was it 164? I can't remember what weight.
The last fight?
Yeah, the third.
That was 168.
Yeah, it was at 160. It was at the full weight.
So it was lower than 175.
Yeah.
Right.
He had a lot more movement from round one on and gave Gennady a lot of trouble in landing his shots.
Golovkin is 100 and Golovkin had a lot less movement.
Well,
Bivol was moving.
It's easier for it's easy to move on Triple G than it is to move on Bivol. Bivol's fast, man.
But I'm talking about just energy level, head movement, feints.
Well, Canelo,
big difference between both Canelos.
That's his arch enemy. He's gonna be up for that.
So, I think the only chance Ryder would have is if the low energy Canelo shows up. Notably, in the Golovkin fight, Canelo did lose steam by round 9. So all that energy, it drained him.
It started in the 7th actually, because I was watching it before we started today. I watched some of Ryder against Jacobs and Callum Smith. Here, check this out. So they have like 4 common opponents. They have Jacobs, Callum Smith, Rocky Fielding, and Billy Joe Saunders. So 3 of those guys, John Ryder lost to. He's got 5 losses. I don't think he won the Jacobs fight, and I think Jacobs did himself an injustice when he started fighting Southpaw with Ryder, because Jacobs tends to push his punches out when he's Southpaw. He's way more natural as a right-handed fighter, and I thought it was really stupid. Like, I know when he did that to Golovkin, we were all at the fight, and it kind of threw a wrinkle in, and because he got knocked down and he went Southpaw almost exclusively after that, and it was something that Golovkin wasn't expecting. But Ryder's a natural Southpaw, and he's got decent feet. He likes to fight inside. I mean, these are all things that I noticed from a couple of his fights. He doesn't mind coming forward. He is a come-forward fighter. He's tailor-made for Canelo, which is why this will end in the 5th round. 5th round.
Right hand is always down on this guy. This guy always has his right hand.
And he's not much bigger than Canelo height-wise.
No.
They're built kind of the same.
They're similar builds.
5'9", Canelo's 5'8", maybe. I don't think Canelo's 5'8". He's got a 72-inch reach, and Canelo has 70.5. For guys their size, that's a pretty long reach for both of them. And their body type is almost the same. Maybe Canelo's a little bulkier because he's short. But other than that, Ryder, he's tailor-made for Canelo. And that's why this is a showcase fight. Do it in front of your home crowd. Make yourself look good. My question is, when he gets back to fighting somebody for real, and Canelo can do a couple of things that would help himself. If he was going to fight Benavidez, do it right away. Don't let him get better. And I don't think he's going to do it. But he would be smart to do what Floyd did to him. Catch him when he's still a little green. Fighting Benavidez in September, especially if he puts on some spectacular 5th-round knockout and makes me look brilliant in May. If he fights Benavidez in September, everybody's going to pile back on the bandwagon, and now you're going to have another mega fight, and it's going to be good. It really will be. And I think the best time to get Benavidez is now, before he gets a little more polished in the ring.
And before he takes on Bivol also, because he has the potential of losing
Bivol
to
wants that
Bivol
fight at
again.
168. But I don't think Canelo wants to do that.
He has the
I don't think it
potential
ends
of
any
losing,
different.
losing again.
The one thing, though, that I think should happen, I don't like people pursuing Canelo, right? Because I don't want to empower him any more than what he is. So I think Bevel should just leave him alone. I already beat you. Whooped your ass.
Yeah.
That's it. It's going to do nothing except for a payday to fight him again. Exactly.
Where else is going to be able to get that kind of money?
But look, think about this, though. On Canelo, okay, after this John Ryder fight, because I have no problem with it. He's going home, showcase fight. We already said that. But the walls are kind of closing in on Canelo a little bit because you have Andrade out there. You have Morrell out there. You have Benavidez. You have, and the thing is that
Morrell's not going to be anywhere near Canelo.
Right,
but he's not even going to get a chance with the other guys. How's he going to get to Canelo?
But he's running out of, number one, Canelo has kind of fought a who's who of, he's kind of fought a little bit of everybody, right? But over there on the zone, they're running out of these straight upright UK dudes at 168. So he's going to have to fight somebody with some shit in him. And I'm going to tell you, Benavidez, and I said this before, right after that Caleb Plant fight, I was like, Benavidez versus Canelo is a hot fight, especially if it happens right now this year, or Cinco de Mayo next year. That's a hot fight, man.
If it's one of these next two fights, it would be smart for Canelo to do it that way too. Right. That's a huge fight.
So we can all agree that Canelo and Charlo is just off the table completely.
Not gonna happen.
Not gonna happen.
Not gonna happen. He's already fought Plant. Benavidez is out there, and who is on that DAZN side? That's not from the UK. Who's actually good? He said that he's never gonna.
He doesn't deserve that fight anyway.
The walls are kind of closing in to where he only pretty much has viable opponents at 168. 175, I don't think he should have any business up there.
No.
He's too small. No. He's too small for that. And so what? He's gonna fight who? Beterbiev? Beterbiev? No, he get knocked out.
Buatsi?
You see, okay, that's what they're gonna do. Unless they do that stupid. What were they talking about? He was gonna fight at cruiserweight. He was gonna fight an African dude at cruiser.
Oh yeah.
But fighting Anthony Yarde is like fighting John Ryder. It's
the guy that got beat.
It does nothing for you.
They're running out of these little UK dudes, and I just can't wait until after this John Ryder fight because I need to see what he does. Now, if he doesn't fight anybody with a pulse after John Ryder, I'm sorry.
That leads me to what I've been hearing. Skill-wise. Is Canelo on the back nine?
Yep. Absolutely. I think that his skills have dimmed a little bit with the fame and the stardom, and he started taking up golf and having kids and doing all that. So I get it.
Well, he had a kid a long time ago.
But Canelo, he started this at 15, 16 years old, professional. That's a long time to fight.
It's bound to happen. Are we seeing?
What is he? 31 years old?
32.
32.
So you're saying this is him. This is the beginning of the decline.
He's gonna have one of those after he wastes John Ryder and throws him in the dumpster. He might have, because we see it all the time with these veteran fighters, these older fighters, and they turn back the clock. Like Manny Pacquiao did it against Keith Thurman. So it can happen, but somebody gonna catch him, and they're gonna catch him bad, man. Like I just would, if it's the right opponent, of course.
Would it be Benavidez that catches him?
Canelo waits too long? Yes.
I don't know what happens in that fight. That's a good fight. And it's really just gonna be a test of.
And if Benavidez is smart, and it's funny how we're all just already dismissing John Ryder, but I do believe it's that kind of fight. It's that easy. It's going to be that easy for Canelo to win this fight, even if he is on the downside.
Yeah, he's gonna kill John Ryder.
If Benavidez, because of his height and his stature, and he's not as good as Bivol, but if he could try to duplicate that game plan, he can win, and he can win now.
They're different fighting styles, though. I think that Benavidez will. Go into his, offense-minded
stalker mode.
Yeah, and
And
he has the potential to get.
He might get sucked in to something.
Yeah.
But
Sure.
if he could stay smart about it and not get overly aggressive.
That's something difficult to find in certain boxers. Smarts.
Bivol had so much like the brains in there because he was hurting Canelo.
Right.
And Canelo kind of like dropped his hands and went, and Bivol was like, "No, you come here."
Yeah.
And he would not get sucked in. And it's hard to stick to that, but he was so disciplined. It was brilliant.
I love that. I love that.
No, we're not fighting your fight. We're fighting my fight.
Because that's exactly right.
And that's exactly what he did.
You know, look, let me tell you about Benavidez and Canelo. Canelo better get him early. As that fight goes on, I've never seen Benavidez run out of gas. I see Canelo every single fight. This dude runs out of gas.
That's true.
Every single fight.
That would be.
I don't want to break that down because we don't know what he wants to do. We know he wants Bivol, and Bivol might want to fight at 168. Does that happen, or do they go back to 75, or does Canelo go another route?
Canelo. Well, Bivol should go another route. Canelo is gonna do whatever the hell he does. I don't want Bivol fighting him again. He doesn't need to. He already beat him. Easy work.
I'm batting 1,000.
He smashed that dude. Easy work. Like, you don't have to play Canelo's game. Bivol needs to be fighting Beater. That's the fight that needs to happen at 175. Nothing else. But no, you don't play Canelo's game. I just need to see what Canelo does. But if he fights Benavidez,
there's a lot of money in Canelo's game. That's the problem.
Just
like it was with Floyd. There's a lot of money there.
I'm just telling you, if he fights Benavidez, that fight's gonna get real dangerous for Canelo around round 9, round 10. Very
life-changing money to fight Canelo.
What did Bivol get? Like 10 million?
Yeah, that's about right.
So
that's fine. I'll be fine with that.
It wouldn't surprise me if Canelo tries to make a fight with Charlo, considering all the deficiencies and whether Charlo would accept it. I mean,
it's another soft touch like John Ryder. It's another soft
cash
touch.
Out.
I don't want to see that. Like, Maul is in.
I know why you don't want to see it.
I don't want to see Canelo beating up women.
He's not ready. He's in no position to fight Canelo. He's not ready.
Which is exactly why Canelo would offer the fight to him.
Yeah, that's Canelo's game. I don't
game.
like it. If that Benavidez fight happened, Lord have mercy.
I'm not a fan of domestic violence because that's what the fight would be.
Well, we all agree Canelo by KO.
Yeah.
Before 6.
Bet the under, whatever it's at. Bet the under. Easy.
And if you didn't listen to us last time, you better start.
That's true.
Yeah, that's it.
So that's it for now. We will be back with another episode to recap this Canelo fight once this fight is done.
Pat ourselves on the back again.
We will see you all.
Call around, Corling. Pick a round.
We will see you all soon.
7.
7th. Joey 5th.
5. Yeah, there you go.
I'll stay in the middle. 6.
6. There you go.
It could be shorter than that. It could be 4.
It might be, yeah.
2. Yeah. Get him out of here.
Yeah.
You just said take the under and then you pick 7.
I think he'll give him. I think he'll give the crowd.
What's the over
I don't know.
No, I'm saying if 6 is the middle.
Oh, okay. Well,
he'll give the crowd.
It's probably going to be less than that.
He'll give the crowd 3 or 4 rounds to showcase, and to give him a treat, and then he's going to go to work and get this guy out of there.
Good for him. He deserves it.
Keep this in mind. Keep this in mind. In the last 10 years, 1 out of 5 championship boxing matches have been won by the underdog. So there's always a chance in boxing.
Ryder has
20% chance.
No chance
of the underdog winning.
And Bivol was a 5-1 underdog.
20%.
It happened already. It already happened.
20% is modest. That's the new 0%.
I'd love to see the odds on Bivol Canelo too, though. I would love to see what Vegas does.
But hold on. John Ryder, can you imagine John Ryder winning a decision in Mexico? That'd be hilarious.
And that'll be
That'd be
all for
hilarious.
today.
Yeah,
See you
yeah.
guys.
Step Brown.